What's up, guys? Today we're going to talk about Monday Night Football and how Jalen Hurts got really lucky. Now, I don't want you to confuse it. The Eagles deserve to win. They were way better on the offensive line and way better on the defensive line. And when you're better on both lines, you almost always deserve to win. Football's really simple. Keep your quarterback safe. Make sure their quarterback isn't. You're going to win a lot of ball games, and that's exactly what the Eagles do and did. That being said, Jalen Hurts threw 5 balls that should have gone the other way, which is crazy. Now, he only had 2 interceptions, so I know what you're thinking. If they should have gone the other way, why didn't they? And the easy answer is Jamel Dean can't play the football. If Jamel Dean had an ounce of ball skills, he's got 2 picks, and there's at least 4 on the board with a 5th in tow. Either way, Jalen Hurts got really lucky, and his stats should look a lot worse. And this is not the first time this year that he's been not good and gotten lucky. But enough about that. Let me just show you. Let's get to the film. So on the first play that we're going to break down, Jalen Hurts actually throws a touchdown, and people are pretty excited about this throw. But if you watch it more carefully from the all 22 angles, you can see that it wasn't a great throw at all. In fact, it was actually kind of pickable. It's controversial, so let's walk through it. First off, Dallas Goedert's going to motion in and then turn that into a drag. And this running back, DeAndre Swift, is going to Texas and turn it into a drag. That's the main concept. It's a mesh route, right? I think Dallas Goedert is probably the desired receiver. Then you've got A.J. Brown. He's going to run a love of the game post, just deep, clear everything out. The 2 receivers of consequence are going to be in the slot to the trip side. You're going to have Devontae Smith running in, pretty deep in. And you're going to have Alamade Zaccheaus run the longest developing in I've ever seen. And this is kind of a levels concept, so hopefully, if the mesh doesn't work out, the safety is forced to choose between the shallow in and the deep in, and whichever one he takes, you just make him wrong with your arm. Very simple. And then the Bucs are going to run just some base cover 3 with matching principles. You got what you want. This is a simple play to get the mesh and maybe the levels if you're lucky. Let's see what Hurts actually gets out of this play. So as you can see, Joe Tryon-Shoyinka pushes the pocket, but he doesn't get any real pressure. Lane Johnson is on him the whole time, and the other 4 linemen are dominating, so Hurts has all the time in the world. Simple little shimmy left, and everything's fine. Doesn't even need to reset the pocket. You've got your underneath guys. You've got your mesh concept. Just hit him. Just hit him. In fact, I was wrong earlier. It might not be cover 3. It might be cover 6. It looks like probably cover 6. But the song remains the same. You've got 3 high safeties that are matching. Now, at this point, Jalen Hurts is completely set up in his pocket, and he's too late to hit Devontae Smith on the deep breaking in. I don't think that would have been a great idea anyway. What he should be doing is hitting one of his mesh routes. At this point, Jalen Hurts is making his decision, and I want you to focus on this cornerback and receiver at the top of the screen. It's Jamel Dean and Alamade Zaccheaus. That's where the ball eventually goes. There's nothing really open other than the mesh, but we'll talk about that in a moment. Notice Dallas Goedert is wide open. So is Devontae Smith. Those were the targets that should have been hit inside the structure of the play. It's okay to go outside the structure of the play. In fact, some would argue it's good. Here, I want you to watch. I'm going to go back just a little bit, but I want you to watch how Jamel Dean is gaining on Alamade Zaccheaus. It's clear who the much faster player is. And right here is where Jamel Dean makes his crucial mistake. So Jalen Hurts is winding up to throw the ball. At this point, at this exact point, when Hurts is letting go of the ball, Jamel Dean has outside leverage and upfield leverage, which means if you want to throw a ball that your receiver can box him out on, you kind of want to throw it like here, so that Jamel Dean can win he's got a head start on the race down the screen, and he's got a head start on the race to the left of the screen. So let him use those head starts and box out the cornerback. If the cornerback runs through his back, Now you've got a pass interference. So I don't love the ball placement by Jalen Hurts, not in terms of accuracy, but in terms of idea. Now, at this point, Jamel Dean is on Zacchaeus' back, but he's not playing the receiver. If you look at his eyes, he's watching that ball. He's playing the ball. And this is something I struggle with because if receivers had ball skills, or if defensive backs had ball skills, they'd be receivers. So maybe Jalen Hurts is just much smarter than I am and is being arrogant, picking on defensive backs, knowing that they don't have what it takes. But again, as you can see, Jamel Dean is moving much faster, and he can get to whatever point in the ball's path he wants to. He just misplays it. If he sticks with the receiver and just runs hip for hip, this is at the best an incompletion, and I think that Jamel Dean having underneath leverage actually makes the pick if he just runs with the receiver. But he chooses not to. He chooses to ball hawk, and he ball hawks poorly. He actually gets a fingertip on it, but that's not quite enough. And after that, Alameda Zacchaeus is in the end zone with a touchdown because Jamel Dean played the ball wrong. Let's watch the tight copy. You can see it a little bit better. Hurts is going to take his dear sweet time. And here's where he decides he's going to throw to Zacchaeus. It was very late in the play. It's so late in the play that A.J. Brown's post is now turned into the deepest in of all time. Hurts is hit as he throws, but that's more a function of Hurts waiting around forever than Hurts actually throwing under pressure. He's laying in the bed that he made. I'm not going to give him credit for that. Now watch right here. Jamel Dean is this defensive back on Alameda Zacchaeus' back. Right there. Now, Jamel Dean is step for step with him. He's right on his back. So Jamel Dean has outside and kind of upfield leverage, which means that you want to throw the ball if you're Jalen Hurts. Now, this is a little bit late. If I had like 2 frames earlier, you'd see that the outside and over the top leverage is a little bit more pronounced. But that means that you want to throw the ball like generally in this area, right? Because this linebacker's not looking. You're not going to... He's out of the play. Levante David's out of the play. So what you want to do is float the ball here, this area, so that Alameda Zacchaeus can run into it and kind of box Jamel Dean out. Instead, Jalen Hurts targets here. So you got to bend this route up. Problem is, Jamel Dean's moving way faster and is a way bigger man who is much faster. Let's watch how Jamel Dean messes this up, because right now he's in a perfect position to make a play on the ball. You see all those false steps? All right, so on the tight copy, we won't be able to see the play develop as well, but you can see right here the mesh works. You've got 2 receivers wide open in the middle of the field, and that's where the ball is supposed to go. Get the ball to your playmaker. But Hurts wants to do something a little different. He takes his time. He takes way too much time in the pocket. He's really lucky that Devin White's not trying to win this pass rep as much as he's trying to mush rush, because at this point, Jalen Hurts has exhausted the play, right? Like, the routes have developed too much. He's waited too long. Now he's got to ad-lib. He's also going to throw while being hit because he took so damn long. Ball actually gets out of his hands before he's contacted, so good on him to release the ball quickly. But again, you can see, look at Jamel Dean. He is squared up. He is ready to make that play, but he took too many steps forward, so the ball is too high and too outside. If he extends it, like Alameda Zacchaeus did, remember, they were at the exact same place on the field when the ball was thrown, and Dean was moving faster. If he extends it like Alameda Zacchaeus does, that ball is in Jamel Dean's hands, and instead of being a 10-3 lead for the Eagles, it's 3-3 and the Bucs have the ball. Now, I don't know what that would have meant, the way the Bucs offensive line held up, but we'd surely think of Jalen Hurts a little differently if this touchdown were a pick. And we got 4 more of these to get to. Here's another one. This one is much easier to see. Hurts just makes a bad decision while he's getting hit and panics a little bit. Throws the ball to the left. Receiver's breaking to the right. That's pickable. It's very simple. It's a miscommunication. Swift could have come back to the left. It was an option route, but he didn't. Hurts has got to be better than that. You can't throw at the top of the option hoping that your running back makes the right play when there's a defender right in his face. That's bad on Hurts. Additionally, here, another one right off Jamel Dean's hands. If he had ball skills, he'd be a sick receiver. He's 6'3" and moves like lightning. In his hands, no pick. That's 3 picks already in this game. 2 of them dropped or misplayed by Jamel Dean. Imagine how different this game would look if instead of a touchdown and a field goal on those last 2 plays, Jamel Dean had 2 picks. We would be talking about, is Jalen Hurts the problem? And then here, that's just really underthrown. Look at how much room over the top Jalen Hurts has. If he leads Devontae Smith on this ball, it's an easy touchdown. But he underthrows it again, and this time, the defensive back doesn't mess up, actually catches the ball. So we're at 4 pickables, and one of them was a touchdown, one of them was a field goal. Hell, the Eagles actually got a safety out of that last pick. And then here, Devin White just falls down. This ball is woefully underthrown. It's so underthrown that the running back can't come back to the ball. But just imagine if Devin White, who's playing through a severe groin injury, by the way, doesn't trip and fall. He's got inside leverage. This ball's going to fall into his hands like a punt. So that's 5 picks that Jalen Hurts could have thrown. I defy you to find one where you disagree. So Jalen Hurts had a really bad game. I showed you 5 balls that should have gone the other way, and it's really difficult to play a decent game, much less a good game, when you throw 5 interceptable passes. Now, 2 of them were picked. Those ones we can't argue with. One of them went through Jamel Dean's hands at the end of this first half, end of second quarter. One of them, Devin White, fell down on a punt, basically. And then the first one, which ended up being a touchdown, I showed you. Now, I can understand somebody saying that that is actually a bad pass and not a pickable pass. I believe it's pickable, especially because Jamel Dean is so much faster than Alamade Zaccheaus, and they were at exactly the same point on the field. But fine. Maybe it's a contested interception, and therefore it's just a bad pass. He got a touchdown out of it. His stats are certainly lying to you. At the best, Jalen Hurts threw 4 interceptable passes. I believe he threw 5. I don't want to argue the minutia of the 5th interceptable pass. But it's been really bad. Jalen Hurts didn't have any nice downfield throws like he did last week against Minnesota, where he had those 2 bombs to Devontae Smith. He didn't really have any great downfield throws. He had one play where he scrambled a little bit and threw the ball to a wide open receiver against broken coverage. I graded it as solid just because it's fine. And then he had a few curls and crossers about 10 yards downfield, which were solid. But other than that, really inaccurate, really bad decisions, taking forever in the pocket, a couple bad decisions to run. Just not good. No redeemable qualities other than he is unstoppable on that tush push, which I think we should get rid of pushing in the NFL altogether. I think we should go back to the college bush push rules. Don't push a guy from behind, 15-yard penalty. But even then, he would still be an incredible QB sneaker because he's just so damn strong. What do you guys think? Am I crazy? Am I overreacting? Point out where. Throw a timestamp in the comment and explain your side of the argument. Now that we have all the film to work with, we can actually have a discussion. Other than that, let me know in the comments what videos you want to see. I got a little bit of time this week, especially because Thursday Night Football is not like a barn burner. Maybe I'll make something during. Maybe I'll make something in preparation. And like and subscribe. Getting a lot of video views. Getting a lot of nice praise in the comments. I really appreciate that. But I haven't really gotten any new subscribers this year, despite my videos doing pretty well. So let's get that up a little bit. Till next time, I'm going to be grinding film. Hasta.